Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day on this snowy morning in New Jersey. And today is acceptance. It's the second part of step one. We did honesty yesterday, which we focused on self-honesty. And today we're going to focus on acceptance. And I'm going to tell you my story again. So I told you I was getting high every day. And I got honest about that with myself. And the second part of that was to accept that I was an addict. And I thought I had accepted that I was an addict, but really I had accepted that I was currently addicted. But to, as they say, fully concede to my innermost self, that's how recovery defines acceptance, to fully concede to your innermost self, to fully concede to my innermost self that I was an addict, I ended up having a relapse. That was my story. Now, not everybody has to go through that, but I ended up in a bar with no intention to drink whatsoever. They say if you hang out at a barber shop long enough, you eventually get a haircut. And I hung out in the bar. In about an hour, I was doing shots with no intention of drinking. I had about 100 days clean. And I realized that once I started, I wanted to keep going. I wanted to keep partying. And my drug of choice being marijuana at the time, that's really what I wanted to go back to. And fortunately, I was able to get back to meetings, and then I was able to fully concede that I was an addict. I was to fully accept it. But I needed the evidence for myself, because I really had believed that once I stopped for a while, I could go back to just being, getting high on the weekends like I did when I was in high school. So somebody had pointed out to me that once you're a pickle, you can't go back to being a cucumber again. And so I had to fully concede to my innermost self. Practically in other areas, I told you about that girl at that time that I was dating, and I really wanted her to change, and I was going to save her. I was going to help her out of her situation. And I figured in return she would more conform to my ways of living. And that's not fully conceding. It's trying to change somebody. And they say if you truly love somebody, you don't want to change them. You will accept them for who they are. And that's acceptance. It's not easy to do. A lot of times we get into relationships, we want the other person to change. And I've learned the only way really to influence anybody long term is to change myself. And once I change myself, I can inspire other people to do the same thing, especially the people that I love, and the ones that love me and care about me and see the change in me. It's great. I got a call from my mother yesterday. Shout out to Mom. Actually, I called my mom based on the comment, and I'm not going to share the conversation, but she confided in me in some things that she's going through, and she was inspired to tell me because of the change in me. And one of the things that I had told her is that, you're not responsible for somebody else's reactions to what you do. People are going to react differently, and you're not responsible for their reactions. And it said it helped her, and it was touching to me to know that my mother, who, I'll just tell you a quick story about my mother and how she inspires me. At 60 years old, she changed her careers. She became a legal secretary and started going into New York City at 60 years old. And then I think it was 72, Ma, if I'm correct, and you left that job, or 70, and she became a massage therapist and a life coach. And she's 83 years old today, and still as sharp as a tack, and driving and life coaching and doing massages, and and she still wants to grow and change. You're never too old to grow and change. And she's always willing to learn, and she's learning from me. Can you believe that? So I'm inspired by that too, and I hope I'm inspiring other people too as well. But I'm really doing it for myself. It was all about getting up early and working out, which I'm on day 10 now. And I took the opportunity to make myself accountable, and while I'm doing that, I'm sharing my experience, strength, and hope in my recovery. So I hope that you learned something about acceptance, because acceptance is the answer to all your problems. Not some, not many, not a lot of them, all your problems. Have a blessed day. Bye.